Okay, and welcome back. In this video, we're going to try to get the wings ready to put the servos in. But before you put the servos in, there's two parts of the wing that need some thin CA on them. First off, here where the servo goes, you need to drill 4 pilot holes and put thin CA in those pilot holes for the screws that mount the servo. And the second place is there's 1, 2, 3, 4 CA hinges on the aileron, and that those CA hinges need some thin CA on them. So this video is going to be all about how to prepare those, and I'll be right back to show you how I install the servo and get the pilot holes ready. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I've got the HS485 HB servo. It's the carbonite gear servo and 83 ounces of torque on it. I like it because it's a good combination of quality and price and strength. So I've taken the I don't know why, but they always come with this round one, and I never use the round one. So I've taken the round arm off and just left the screw on the top so I don't lose it. So you got arm choices here, the double one, the 4-sided one, and the round one, and those are all going to be put aside. We don't use those. The one I like to use is this one that comes with it because it's adjustable. You can slide this in and out. You can slide the base part in and out from the arm, and you can adjust the position of the servo arm to exactly what you need. So I'm going to use that, but I don't need it right now because I'm just going to do the pilot holes. So I'm going to put that back in the bag along with 3 of the screws, because I need 1 to open up the pilot hole and sort of tap the screws. Next thing I'm going to do is put these little rubber grommets on. Okay, they're easy to put on. There's a right side and a wrong side. Make sure you get the side that is smooth out here. Okay, that's the smooth side, and the other side has an indent to it. And if you get it right, they go in very easily. Okay, and then most importantly, these little brass fairings, I guess I call them, little brass tubes, go in from the bottom, not the top. So they go in the bottom so that the bottom is the round part, and that way the nice smooth round part is on the wood, the balsa wood or plywood. I guess it's plywood, and that will ensure that if you did it backwards, the sharp point on the other end would eat into it. You don't want that. So this gives you better support for the servo when it's mounted. And let's get this last one in here. There we go. And you go there. Okay. So now, it probably doesn't make a difference in terms of the mounting screws, but when you put the servo in here, the arm is going to be toward the leading edge of the wing. So I'm just going to drop the wire in there and drop it in. And then we got to get around here and make sure it's centered. And I forgot to get my pin vise. So let me stop a second and get my pin vise. Okay, since I've done this before, I know what size pin vise I use, but I'm going to show you how I got there. I use a digital caliper, and you measure the size of the screw that you're going to use. It's about a 2.2 millimeter size screw. So I'm going to use a 1 millimeter pin vise. So here's my pin vise. You can get them all kinds of places. I think I got this one at Amazon. And they're real. This is a nice one. It's a, I think it's called a ZONA, something like that. But all you want to do is, I like to make sure I can repeat where it was. So I'm going to slide it to one side and up to one side. It has a bit of movement. I think I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to center it. But to the outside and center it up and down, and then just puncture the covering where those 4 holes are going to go. That's all you need to do to mark it. So that marks the 4 holes. And you can pull this out and drill away. Okay. Good quality pin vise is very handy when you're building airplanes. Find lots of uses for it. And this pin vise is nice because it has different size collets, so you can use anywhere from like a really small 1/2 millimeter pin drill up to at least I think 2.5 is the largest. And then you got other sizes of these you can use. Okay, so now that that's in place, I'm going to drop this back in. Okay. And I think I'm going to do it a little differently than what I said before. I'm going to use all 4 screws. That way, each time you put a screw in, it makes sure that the hole is anchored. Okay, and I'm only going to go in about halfway. So that's 1. I can see the pilot holes are in good position. I'm going to put one down here next. Okay. Again, you don't want to screw them all the way down because you're not here to open it up all the way. You're here to get a pilot hole, and the threads on the screw are tapping threads in the hole, and it's those threads in the hole that you want to put CA on to make sure they're hardened. Okay, now those are in about halfway. Next, what I'm going to do is take them out, and I got to go get my CA and tips, and I'll be right back. Okay, got my CA. I'm going to be using the Dynamite brand CA. That's from Horizon Hobby. Reason I like it is because the cap is got this steel pin in the cap to make sure that the cap stays open. I'm going to put a long, thin applicator tip on it because the CA runs quite a bit. And the applicator tip is from Hobbyco, Tower Hobbies. You get a little package like this for $1, and 6 for $1 is pretty nice. And I reuse them. Okay, so check the holes. The holes look good. I got 4 holes here. You probably can't see them anyway, so I'll just tell you there's 4 good holes there. And I'm going to tip this over, get the CA flowing down the tube, and it's not going to flow, is it? I've used this one about 4 or 5 times, and let me grab a paper towel real quick here. It looks like this applicator tip might be stopped up here. Let me see if I can get it going. Nope. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going to put a new applicator tip on. Okay. I opened my bag of new tips. I get about 5 or 6 uses out of one tip because when I'm done, I'll run CA debonder through the tip, but that only lasts so long. So now you get the CA running through here, and very carefully I go 1, 2, 1, 2, small drops, 1, 2, 1, 2. And there's always going to be a little bit of CA left on top, so we're going to just wipe that off real quick, and we're going to let that dry. And I'll be back in a minute to show you how I get the CA on the aileron. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back, and to CA the aileron in place, the first thing you want to do is make sure that the gap on this side of the aileron and the gap on this side of the aileron are equal. And you can slide it back and forth just a little bit. And then I always push down on the aileron to push the hinges in a little. Then I flex the aileron to make sure that the aileron will flex all the way in both directions. Okay. All right. And that leaves a gap that is where you do the CA. So what I'm going to do is lift the wing up and let the hinge flop down and put 2 drops on each side of the hinge. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Actually, these are big drops. I'm going to do just 1 on each side, and maybe 2. You want to get a good amount of CA because it wicks quickly. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then immediately flex this back to the other side. Turn the wing around. Lift the wing up, let the hinge flop down a little, and put CA on both sides. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So that's got a good amount of CA on it, and that is ready to go. I'm not going to flex it at all. I'm just going to let it sit right here and let it dry. I'm going to let it dry at least 30 minutes or so. I'm going to do the same thing to the other wing. Don't need to show you how the other wing goes. It goes exactly the same way. So I'm going to let it dry for at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour. See you on the next video.